The derelict station groaned, a metal behemoth stirring from an eons-long slumber.
The void shard, its chaotic energy now a conduit, had not shattered the stasis pods, but unlocked them.
Inside, something ancient and hungry had been waiting.
A chilling symphony of groans and metallic screeches echoed through the hollow corridors.
The dormant intelligence, a prisoner of cosmic design, was now free.
Its awakening was not a gentle thaw, but a violent eruption of pure, unadulterated malice. It remembered the stars, not as distant lights, but as prey. It remembered the silence, not as peace, but as a challenge. The Void King, for all his terror, was but a child's tantrum compared to this primordial darkness.
The spark's twisted form, a mere echo of its former glory, was insignificant now. The entity's reunion was not a merging, but a feast. Its hunger was absolute.
On a desolate moon, the ancient guardian watched the station's lights flicker to life, a grim understanding dawning in its ageless eyes. The failsafe it had prepared was not for the void shard, but for what it had unleashed. It raised a weathered hand, etched with runes older than time, and began to chant. A pulse of pure, raw energy surged from the guardian, a desperate plea or a final defiance, directed not at the station, but at the very fabric of reality.
Meanwhile, in the hidden enclaves of the forgotten faction, the retrieval of the relic neared its climax. The artifact, said to sever cosmic bonds, was guarded by ancient wards and tests designed to break even the most determined soul.
Their leader, a woman whose face bore the weight of millennia of vigilance, pressed onward, her resolve a burning ember against the encroaching darkness.
She knew what was coming.
She had seen the whispers of this ancient horror in the forgotten texts. But even she was unprepared for the sheer scale of its awakening. As the Guardian's energy pulsed across the void, the awakening intelligence within the station turned its attention. It felt the Guardian's presence, a faint, irritating spark in the vast emptiness.
It dismissed it as irrelevant. Its focus was on the universe, on the feast that awaited.
It began to extend its influence, its tendrils of consciousness reaching out, not just through the void shard, but through the very void itself. The spark, now a puppet, writhed in agony as its new masters will flooded its corrupted form. It was being reshaped, reforged into a weapon of unimaginable power, a herald of the true apocalypse.
The forgotten realm, consumed by the initial corruption, was now a mere appetizer for the true horror.
The void shard, the catalyst, pulsed with renewed, terrifying energy, no longer a seed but a beacon, amplifying the entity's call. The forgotten faction felt a tremor, not of the earth, but of existence itself. The relic was within reach, but the price of reaching it might be too high.
The Guardian's chant grew louder, more desperate, as the station's malevolent light expanded, a cancerous bloom in the cosmic night.
The ancient intelligence, now fully awake, let out a silent roar that echoed across galaxies.
It was time to reclaim what was lost.
It was time to consume. The relic, pulsing in the faction's grasp, suddenly flared with an otherworldly light. It was responding to the encroaching horror, but not in the way they expected. It was not preparing to sever bonds, but to forge them anew. The forgotten faction's leader looked at the relic, her eyes wide with a dawning terror.
This was not a weapon of severance, but a key. A key to a lock they never knew existed. And the entity, the true Void King, was about to turn it.
The Guardian, seeing the relic's true nature, let out a guttural cry of despair. The ritual was not a defense, but an invitation. The reunion was not an end, but a beginning.
A beginning of a darkness that would eclipse even the void itself. The station's lights pulsed brighter, synchronizing with the relic's sinister glow. The cosmic bonds were not being severed, they were being reforged, weaving a tapestry of eternal dread. And in the heart of the station, a single, impossibly ancient eye opened, beholding the universe for the first time in eons, and it was hungry. The spark's final, agonizing scream was drowned out by the triumphant hum of a universe being rewoven into the fabric of oblivion. The forgotten faction leader felt a chill that had nothing to do with the vacuum of space. The relic in her hand felt warm, then impossibly hot. It was not a tool, but a sacrifice. And the entity's promise of reunion was about to be fulfilled, not for all, but for itself. The Guardian's chant sputtered and died as the station's light enveloped it,
the ancient protector becoming one with the encroaching doom. The void shard, now a mere speck against the station's growing radiance, pulsed one last time, a dying ember signaling the dawn of a new, terrifying era. The universe held its breath, unaware of the true darkness that had just been unleashed. The forgotten faction stood on the precipice, the relic now a burning brand in their hands. They had sought to sever the cosmic bonds, but instead, they had become the linchpin of a far more terrible convergence. The entity's hunger was insatiable, and its feast had just begun. The echoes of the abyss were no longer whispers, but a deafening roar. And in the silence that followed, a single, chilling voice resonated, not from the station, but from everywhere and nowhere. The cycle is not complete, it has merely begun anew.
And then, nothing. The screen went black.
Only the faint, pulsing red light of the relic remained, a solitary beacon in the encroaching, eternal night.